Welcome back to the Global Forum for Responsible Recruitment. Now, our forum comes directly after the ILO's Fair Recruitment Forum, which was held in Geneva the first 2 days of this week. We're now going to hear a brief. I'll invite our guests onto the stage. First of all, Margie, would you like to bring your panelists up? Sorry. We're now going to hear a brief summary of that forum from Maria Gallotti, who's going to be speaking to us from Geneva. After which Marja Pavlanian from the ILO will examine the importance of fair and ethical recruitment and employment from the perspective of both business and migrant workers. But first of all, we're going to call up Maria from Geneva to give us an update on what went on at the ILO's event in Geneva this week. Maria, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you. Five years. Importantly, to reflect on the future, on how we can move the agenda forward and accelerate. So the conference convened and the fact that so many of our constituents the impact of you are so many and this issue of relevance and it is a shared commitment and a responsibility for so many around the globe. So I just want to convey a few messages that came to the conference that just concluded yesterday. I hope that this can spark that can be discussed in the Global Forum for Responsible Recruitment over the next day. So, and so many participants from the real economy topics, some of which you will be also discussing. The challenges of digitalization in recruitment and how this is often looked at the solution and it takes a lot. Importance to organizing and empowering workers. This came out very strong from the conference discussion. So long way. We've built evidence. Importantly, we have should involve, yet regulatory gaps to do clear institution that existing regulation. Today, regulation of hardly monitored or enforced, and strengthening enforcement authorities' capacities, such as labor inspector age capacity to detect abuses in sectors where the risk is higher. The third message that we got from the conference is accelerate responsible business practices, and what better than the forum you're in now to point to practice a scale and ensure as community to show the fair recruitment is not only possible, but it's also profitable. But for fair recruitment and so that fair recruitment becomes a compliance issue. Then for fair recruitment, from part to a more systemic approach. Well, of course, you know, the I mentioned before, the of workers and protected and empowered. And it is not only good for workers, it's critical for them, but management is not fair. We also heard that the irregularity of migration rights deteriorate, trafficking and forced labor increases. And this was a point very strongly made by our sister agency, UNODC. So among them, finally, we had a whole panel related to the issue of partnership and collaboration. No country, no actor can achieve progress in isolation. Migrant workers recruitment, in particular, demands bilateral, regional, and global action. To accelerate programs, participants address the need for a systemic approach, engaging all stakeholders, employers, recruiters, and workers, and active policy making. Now, Fair Recruitment Initiative, which will be soon shared with all. Very much to hear the results of and more ideas and inspiration on how it could which is a platform that you can continue to explore, engage with, and this and have been working on to underline that this is a a
Thank you, Maria, for joining from Geneva, and good afternoon to everybody in the room. I'm very happy to take this discussion forward. My name is Maria Paavilainen. I'm Senior Program Officer with the ILO's Regional Labor Migration Team, Triangle in ASEAN program based here in Bangkok. And just to react to the 5 points that Maria mentioned, I think in this forum, I've heard a lot of discussion, of course, about data and responsible business practices, but maybe some of the other points, the importance of regulation in leveling the playing field and lifting the bottom up for everybody hasn't come up so much here. So that's really an important point to note. And then, of course, workers organizing, the benefits that it can bring for workers and employers, it needs to be emphasized. And luckily, one of our panelists here will speak about this. And of course, partnerships we have discussed extensively. All right, so to take this discussion to a regional and Thailand-specific context now, I am very happy to be joined by two of our long-term partners. And thank you to Neil and the IHRB team for inviting us. It's really a great pleasure to be here. In the 2 days that we've been here in this room, I've heard quite a few calls for country-specific understanding and interventions and lifting the entire industries up together. And also there's been acknowledgement that migrant workers themselves know what needs to be done to make fair recruitment possible. And I hope our session will be able to contribute to these issues. To introduce my two panelists, firstly, Ms. Atapan Mas Rungsun, advisor from Thai Tuna Industry Association. TTIA is a long-term partner of the ILO. They are an industry association representing 28 major tuna food processing companies in Thailand. And since 2016, ILO has been supporting TTIA and also Thai Frozen Foods Association to implement the Seafood Good Labor Practices program. Ms. Atapan will soon share some of the successes and challenges in this approach to try to lift the whole industry up together. And my second is Ms. Nanzarni, committee member of the Network of Domestic Workers in Thailand. This is a membership-based organization of domestic workers established in 2011, which has more than 1,100 members, including both Thai, Burmese, and Lao workers. Sarni herself is of Myanmar origin and currently employed as a domestic worker while also being great advocate organizer of domestic workers. And the main functions of NDWT would include organizing workers, but also advocating for increased social protection. And the organization was, or the network was formed with the strong support from the HomeNet, which is an ILO partner since 1997. And just to celebrate one little advocacy for the NDW, HomeNet, and the ILO, we were very happy last year that the Thailand Ministerial Regulation 15 was passed, which for the first time in Thailand gives domestic workers worker rights, including minimum wage protection, 8-hour workdays, maternity protection, and the others. So Zarni will be talking about the experience of migrant workers in Thailand and also touching upon those issues that we have heard mentioned many times this morning, that every change of employer, every renewal of work permit incurs cost. And the fact that, the ILO likes to say that fair recruitment is the beginning of decent work. Well, it's not just one-time event, but it seems to be a recurring issue. And every time when there are fees to be paid or costs related to government documents, the ILO general principles and operational guidelines on fair recruitment apply. Before I ask my first question to Katapan, I do a very short recap of ILO general principles and operational guidelines, fair recruitment, and especially the definition of recruitment fees and related costs, which has been the cornerstone of our work on fair recruitment since 2016 and 2019, respectively, when these were adopted. And the general principles and operational guidelines, they define 13 principles covering many issues, including retention of identity documents, freedom of movement, legal protection, many things that I think we all know that the point about no recruitment fees or related costs should be charged to workers. This is the trickiest and most difficult one to implement. So the question that then remains is that are these fees and costs that the worker should not pay? And in this ILO definition of recruitment fees and related costs, there are 3 types of costs defined. There is recruitment fees, related costs, and illegitimate, unreasonable, or undisclosed costs. And the reason why the distinction between these 3 matter because the rules of the second category are a bit different in the sense that they allow some space for exemptions at national level. But in any case, all these costs, whether it's charged directly or indirectly, whether it's charged one time or several times recurring, none of them, the first principle, none of them should be borne by the worker. So firstly, on the recruitment fee, these are the costs paid for example, a recruitment agency service fees, but also in the case of direct recruitment by the employer, then the costs related to, say, obtaining government clearances or government permits, costs related to advertising or interviews, none of these should be charged to the worker. Then I'll go to the third category, illicit costs next, because that one is also easy to discuss. Bribes, under the table payments, some of these things have come up in the discussion in this morning, and none of them, of course, ever should be paid by the worker. And then the second category, related costs, is the trickier one, where there is some space for national implementation, meaning that the guidelines, sorry, the definition document lists certain cost categories that are considered to be related to recruitment. For example, legal costs, insurance costs, cost for training. These are required as part of the recruitment or are essentially part of the recruitment, then they would be costs not be charged to workers. But here, the competent authorities in each country have the flexibility to define some exceptions, and this requires, first of all, consultation of workers and employers organizations, then the interest of the workers, and they need to be also disclosed for the recruitment to the worker herself. So this is a place where there is a space for defining national cost categories, and indeed there are cases where the ILO supervisory system has given or assessed cost structure adopted at national level and have found to be in compliance with our convention on private recruitment. So sorry, that was a lot of legal terminology and definitions, but let's then turn to our panelists to discuss how this looks like from the industry and worker perspective. And just to note that Maria is staying online until the end of this session. If later you have questions about the ILO definition or the new fair recruitment strategy or others, you can then raise questions to Maria later. Okay, now we go to Ms. Atapan first, and I would like to ask to share some good examples of progress in advancing fair recruitment and conditions of work through the Seafood Good Labor Practices program in Thailand. I know that you want to discuss challenges too, but let's focus on the progress made first. Over to you. Thank you. And there is one slide to display, please.
Hello. Good afternoon. And first of all, thank you, IHRB, to invite me to this forum. Or maybe it's too small. Okay. Well, as Maria introduced, the association that we established in 2013, at that time, we have just only 13 members. All of them are tuna packer in Thailand. But at this moment, we have totally 28 members. We have 70,000 workers, direct workers. And about 70% are migrant workers. And most of them are women. So for tuna, we export worldwide. So this is why we try to comply to the international labor law and regulation. So, but for tuna, it do have SML, small, medium, and large. Anyone large can comply quickly. And for the medium and small, they take a bit of time. Okay, I would like to share here on slides the recruitment expenses that we, this is from our member. According to the JLP program, we have to visit our member every year. So this is what we found. You will see that the number 1, 6, and 7 is on the red. It's mean that this is according to Thai law that the employer do not have to pay. Okay, this is written in the law. But anyway, we pay everything on this slide. Okay. Passport fee, document from the country of origin, contract signing, agency services fee, we also pay. you can see that the year 2023 and 2024 will be a bit different. For expenses incurred in Thailand, visa fee we also pay. Now, 94% of our member already pay. Work permit fee, medical checkup, okay, and test for hepatitis, okay, food, drink, and travel costs in Thailand, COVID costs also, medical checkup for 6 forbidden diseases for work permit, we also pay. And the last one, cost for 14 days when we got COVID last time. Okay. Someone may question, we have that year 26 member, but look at the number 25 members only. Because we do have one member that use just only Thai workers, no migrants worker. Okay. I would like to touch what Maria just speak out about the fair regulation. It is fair or not, I don't know. Because we have to pay everything. We have no chance, no choice, because we have to export. We have to do according to fair or not. I really don't know. But I would like to point out that I think that some of you knows very well that there still have many expenses that not clear. We call it gray area expenses that we have to pay. It will point to ourselves that we accept corruption or not. Leave all of you to think. Okay. This is all our members have done. For this year, we are going to visit again, like every year. So next time you will see the report for totally 28 members. And we do hope that they will comply to all of those free. Okay. Next slide, please. This is what we got from 2016 to 2024. Okay. The first one, when we start GLP program, before GLP program, some member do not have welfare committee. Okay, and after we remember that we start 2013, but we comply with the LO for the GLP for 2016. Okay, and take a few years, and then after that, after 2020, number one, everyone has welfare committee. The second one, no migrants worker as a welfare committee. This is very important because in the past, we never have those migrants worker to be the member. But when we comply with the GLP, think that it will be good for the migrants worker to join the committee. So we let them join the committee. Okay. They have their own election, like Thai people. Okay. The third one, you see, election, this one mean the migrants worker also election by themselves. The fourth one, we found out that the contract still in Thai language, only Thai. This is not good, not according to the TLP regulation that we have. So we advise to our member, and you look at the 2024 already improved. For 5, no pay list, pay slip. Okay. 2017 already done. And number 6, deduction from wages. Okay. If you look at this one, you will have question. Why still is against law? We found out that one small, very small factory deduct the swindler, or is swindler assistance. In Thai, we call chapanakit. Okay. So,
it's a funeral fee with
they explain that they have already discussed with the Ministry of Labor that can be done or not, and the Ministry of Labor confirmed that it's okay if it is the benefit for the workers. Okay. Number 7, worker buy their own equipment already improved. Bathroom card, this is interesting. Okay, it is ridiculous to have bathroom card, but one factory said that they found out that they had one workers got fed in the room, so no one know who found out later seriously, so they have to comply the bathroom card. Anyway, we suggest to them that it's not correct, so they will adjust it. Okay. The pregnancy test before employment. Okay, this is the same, because one also small, very small factory has found out that one woman pregnant, and it's not safe for her to work some area. Okay. So this is what all that we found out from our visit. So we try to improve every part, everything to make to be good for the workers. So we do hope that for the next visit will be better than this. Thank you.
Thank you, Kun Attapan. I think this is really good in concrete data and interesting information, and shows clearly also that as the membership numbers of your association increase, some new issues emerge, and of course this requires continuous follow-up to ensure implementation. All right, let's now move to Zarni and hear from the workers' perspective about the challenges that you yourself or other migrant workers you're working with have faced in relation to recruitment fees and especially maintaining your status here in Thailand. I'm aware that we are a bit behind the time, so let's try to be quite concise to be leaving time for questions as well.
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะทุกท่าน
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sani, and I am from Myanmar, and I am here in Thailand for 24 years now. And in 24 years, I have 15 employers so far, and I work as domestic workers. And when I first entered Thailand, I didn't know what would happen if I'm gonna be in legally or not. Only what I know is that I know what I'm gonna do, just domestically. So I contacted the broker to come to Thailand. After that, and I had the opportunity to be registered, and they call it as legal registration. So I had opportunity. You might be confused when the process. When I came in the first time, it was through the natural borders, and this is illegal when I enter. And then after that, I got employed, and I get registered afterward, and that's legally afterward. So that day, and I got interviewed the employers, and they would ask me questions like, do you have visa? Do you have budget? Things like that. And I had to find the employers who could make me legitimate to live in Thailand. And so I used this way to like, I hire another recruitment to work with the employer. I pay everything for myself on bat because the recruiters helped me find a job. And think I felt like I should pay for them at that kind of expense. And then in contrary, the employers kind of like, they get the staff that they want. But all these fees, actually my question is like, do they actually should pay for me or not? But that time I did not know. I thought I should be the one covering everything for myself. At that time, I didn't know how to extend my permit and how is it going to be, ask the authority to sign the procedures, everything like that to the Thai government. I didn't know about the procurement or anything like that. I don't know these procedures. Is it going to be okay or not? I know nothing about it. I only know those who are coming from Myanmar or anything like that to Thailand, any nationalities, all these people. I only know that they kind of come here to work. But once I go back to work through MOU, all these friends who signed the MOU, I become aware that all my friends, my peers, they have the requirement. They never know that they pay these fees. And this is a requirement that actually a lot of people are not aware that the employer should pay for them. Most people thought they are the one who is responsible for their own fee. That's what most people understand. And then that kind of like spark. So it means that like the American workers, we don't understand what all of these that we have to pay. What we know is that we feel like we are obliged to pay everything for ourselves, basically. In Thailand, in my case, this is a group that, like, if you speak at that time, I didn't know which group I belong to. I'm not on the MOU. I'm not in any group, so I have no idea. At that time, I only know that every 2 years I have to extend my permit. So like as to work in Thailand legally. And so so the Thai staff, they explained to me that we are under the cabinet's agreement. It's pretty much a short term, like maybe 1 year or 2 years, and that can change along the way according to the cabinet agreement. So I understand that this is according to me. I only know my category. I don't know other people. Every 2 years or maybe 1 year, I have to re-register again and again. I have to do a visa again as well, like every 2 years or 1 year. 24 years. Recently, my employer, I worked for them over a year. This is the first person I feel I officially earn the benefit from that agreement because my current employer pay everything for me, all the documents, all the papers, everything they're responsible for me. This is the first time out of 24 years for me to actually gain that from my current employer. Coming back 10 years ago, a decade ago, I used the same way. Like I would always hire the recruitment or agency or the broker to find the employer for me. This is what I do. This is the past 10 years. This is how I do it. I would hire a broker. But is it legally? No, it's not legal. But this is how it works because I want to be here. Like people who want to be here, they try to find a way, but whatever, we try to survive. But at the end, of course, ideally, we want to be legal. All the immigrant workers, it's like we try to find a way to make it solid. Anything with the documents, they would try to pay for themselves first. This is what they have been doing. The policy for Thailand at the moment, we feel like anything that is to do with the process, or like filling the application form, registration, all these forms, when you announce it publicly, the time when they announce is very short period of time. They don't give up the time to fill in the form. So many limitations, anything like that. There's a long procedures, very complicated. It's very difficult to access this data. Some employers don't even understand all these process, what they have to do next exactly. So at the end, it kind of affects to us. And then it also goes to the broker. And then the broker comes in to fill this gap and it force us to pay. That's all the situation. Thank you.
So much, Zarni. What I hear there is that these very complicated government processes with short time frame windows for renewal for 1 year or 2 years, all of this is so complicated and so complex that it's impossible for migrant workers to navigate that by themselves. And that's why the reliance on brokers and agents comes in with the very high costs. And indeed, as you mentioned, many of the migrant workers really don't even know what their status or type of permit is. And it's important that there is, organizations like the network of domestic workers to train them on these issues and empower them to know their status and how to navigate the difficult processes. Now we turn back to Kun Atapan to hear the employers' views on the challenges and how these kind of policies that Zarni explained look to you, and if you have any suggestions for the government or the buyers or any other stakeholders on how to make this better. And I would like to ask you to stick to 3 minutes, so we will have some time for questions after. Thank you.
Well, if I can advise the government, I would tell them that, can you simplify the system? Okay, I mean both sides, the origin country sides and in Thailand too, not just only in Thailand, because for the country of origin also has to change something. Okay, this is for the government side. Can I touch the buyer side? Because everything the buyer asks for, but yeah, they never pay. So can they share the recruitment cost? This is the question. Or please, or give us, as I told you that we still have, I understand that in Thailand, we have a lot of SME, so still need education. So we still need training. What is EPP? What is the new regulation in EU, in USA? Blanket for USA now. Okay. So this is what I would like to say, that buyers should have responsibility on this too. Thank you.
For the same question, what are your recommendations to the government or the employers, other stakeholders, the recruitment industry itself in making this better? Thank you.
So all of this, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share. And I'm so glad to have the chance to speak up on stage. And I would like to leave this to the government that is involving in these issues, and also entrepreneurs, stakeholders, also everyone who are involved in organization, especially in workers in labor force. I would like to understand what are the requirements, because in the past, I understand that, like, I live in Thailand 24 years. I never know what these are. For example, all the procedures when you have to extend your permit or you have to do your card again, register, all of things like this. what are the pipeline? This is procurement, but what are exactly are the process? And all of these, could you make this clear? So like requirement is supposed to be clear on point to all the migrant workers. Secondly, may I propose, this is about the requirements when you announce or when you announce any papers, anything like that. Those who are involved around this process, could you simplify everything, make it easy to understand? Kind of like when migrant workers, so that they can understand, it can easily accessible for the migrant workers and also the employers as well. All of these could be easy for everyone. And another thing is that all these requirements, the expenses, the fee around these, can you change the attitude that the employees are not the ones supposed to pay for everything? That's supposed to be the employers who pay for us. And could you please adjust the attitude for us? Another thing, this is on like extension or of the MOU and permit. When you announce this, I would just like the process, it shouldn't be complicated. It should be accessible, easy to apply, easy to comply, and the employers can easily access this data. Let me share the example, like me, my friends, anyone, all the migrant workers and the employers, everybody wants to be legal. We want to live peacefully. We want to come here we want to be here legitimately. And I want all of these to be simple, easy to understand, easily accessible. That's all. Another point, like when they share their requirement and also monitoring, checking the documents, the language they use. Could you simplify the language? Because it's all documents of government language. We don't understand this. Even like I live here for a long time, I understand Thai, I speak Thai fluently. All these paper piling up, I couldn't read properly. This is something some employers, they don't even read themselves. And all of these just to make the language easier for everyone to read through. Most importantly, we understand that those who come with MOU, they get certain kind of protection. But at the moment, we only see that most people come here in the MOU, they don't understand about their category either or condition either. I'll just leave it here. And then, sorry, another thing, please. It's not like I don't want to accuse Thailand, but I want at the end, the destination have to be aware of this responsibility as well. I don't want those who are like around the stakeholders. I want to enforce on everyone, no corruption, no bribery, no underneath the table, nothing like that. Everything is smooth and straightforward and transparent. I don't want to blame just Thailand. I'm talking to Myanmar as well, that everything needs to be enforced properly. And the next thing is that all the migrant workers, they should be able to come up in group. They should come together, not even Burmese. It could be all together, everyone. They can discuss, can exchange their experiences, also can share challenges that they find when they share their opinions. They can just share that, okay, all of these, it helped us because we have been abused. It could help reducing the abuse that we face these days if we group together.
Darni, thank you. I think we want to open the floor for questions, but before that, I would like to ask if Maria wants to comment on this discussion from Geneva.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, just very briefly, I mean, I heard a few points that I wanted to underline and reassure, or maybe, share the concern that these are challenges that are not only specific to the country that you are referring to. This is really, some of the points that you raise are global challenges, which also mean that they're global responsibilities, and that we need to tackle them. And when I highlight the point on the need for regulatory framework and a legislation that is robust and implemented effectively, clearly to me, this points at one of the points that was made by both speakers on the need to make legislation accessible, transparent, understandable. It's not any legislation. It's legislation that needs to be understood by those that it is meant to protect and regulate. So this is a very important point: simplification, streamlining of legislative provision, and dissemination of this regulatory framework in a way that it is understood. It's absolutely critical, and the role of organization like the one you represent, the unions, also to make it understood from workers. The reality is that across the world, workers tend to expect to pay recruitment fees. That is more the norm, that it's not. So this is also very much looking at the problem of changing the behavioral, and the perception among workers and employers that this is not what it should be. So in fact, sometimes when workers are told that they are not going to pay, they think there is something wrong in their recruitment process. So we really need to change that perception, and the role of organization and advocacy organization to make sure that workers understand and are aware that this is not what they should be expecting to do. But the second point I also wanted to make to the employer representative there, it's when we're talking about recruitment fees and cost, clearly the ILO call for recruitment fees and costs not to be paid by workers. This is what is, clearly embedded in our principle and guidance. But that also means that there is a significant space for reducing recruitment costs for employers as well. I mean, there is a recognition that costs are way too high, and in many cases also linked to untransparent, corrupted, practices. And so not only this should be eliminated for workers, but it can be significantly reduced for employers. So I think this needs to be recognized. It needs to be tackled. It means there's also responsibilities of everybody along the chain, including, buyers and governments, to reduce those costs, considering also, as you mentioned, that many are small producers and small, and medium enterprises, which face different challenges than big companies. So we do need to take those challenges into account when regulating and enforcing legislation. So those are my two broad comments. Thanks for asking me.
Thank you, our questions now, but while she is coming here, I just wanted to share that the ILO did a study on recruitment fees and costs paid by migrants coming to Thailand a few years ago, and it's quite astonishing that 70% of those costs are for government documents. Government documents in the country of origin and in the destination. So there is definitely scope for reducing those costs so that the burden on employers is less, and also, of course, for workers, those who still currently do pay them. All right, thank you. We have 5 minutes, I think, so let's take one or two. Yeah.
I'll give you two questions there. We note the responsibility of businesses to pay for recruitment fees and related costs. In many countries, corruption is present in recruitment process, speed up processes, and obtaining documents. How do we go about this, and how should businesses respond as they do not want to pay for such artificial costs? The second one is, there is a common belief that all recruitment agencies are not trustworthy, and they all often are grouped together in a negative way. This can be discouraging for the ones who are working honestly and following the right processes. Being ethical isn't just about charging fees, it's also about being honest and transparent during hiring. How can we change this perception and support the agencies that are doing the right thing?
Thank you for these two questions. And I would like to suggest, Maria, that you would take the first one to share a bit of comparative experiences, and I could respond to the second one with some regional examples. Maria, are you ready to respond, or shall? Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, I mean, as the point on corruption was just, made before. I mean, as I said, this is a point that is common to many countries, and so I think again. This is an issue that needs to be tackled from multiple angles, right? I mean, so there is a clear understanding, as you mentioned before, Marja, that the recruitment fees that are illegitimate and illegal include all that kind of corruption related cost. This is a much broader sort of issue that is related to the government anti-corruption efforts. Clearly, also making sure, and the two questions are somehow connected as well, because to make sure that those agencies that are compliant and providing, transparent, effective services are somehow awarded and made known, because the reality is that because of all these issues, the agencies are often facing unfair competition from unscrupulous actors, at all stages. So, I mean, enforcement and focusing on providing, institutions like labor inspectorates with the enough capacity and human and financial resources to detect abuses of recruitment, including corruption, and it's absolutely critical, and accompanying, if you wish, enforcement capacity with awarding of good compliant actors is a combination of different approaches. It is clear that not only employers don't want to pay for corruption, but workers don't want to pay for corruption. I mean, this is altogether a cost that should be eliminated.
Thank you, Maria. Quickly respond to the question about recruitment agencies. And indeed, there are many that want to be good agencies and who want to treat their workers right. And in this panel today, we've had an industry example from seafood, but we could have also included an industry example from the recruitment agency, because working with recruitment agency associations in different countries on their own self-compliance initiatives, it has been a big part of our work in the region. In fact, I think we have a representative from VAMAS, the Vietnam Association of Manpower Services, in the room, and we have been working. I think VAMAS code of conduct was adopted in 2009. So this is really a long time ago, and the ILO has been supporting VAMAS in taking this leadership in the recruitment industry, in aligning first practices and also boarding good practices through their own compliance system and monitor processes. And after VAMAS, we have supported similar initiatives in Myanmar, and then in Cambodia, where there is ACRA, Association of Cambodian Associations. They have a code of conduct, and now just last year, the first ever recruitment agency association was established in Laos as well. So there is Laos Employment Business Association that we're working on also increase these standards. And those who are responsible recruiters and want to join and lift up their practices could work together in those practices. So I think this is the time for us to close now. Thank you very much, and thank you for the questions. I'm sure there would have been more, but this is all the time we have now. So I would like to thank Maria for joining online, Atapan and Sophie for joining in person, and wishing you all a good rest of the conference. Thank you.